When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Fred Meyer for thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals. And no matter what tasty choice you make, you'll enjoy our everyday low prices. Plus, extra ways to save, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump with points. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Fred Meyer, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Believe.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Halloween Podcast. I am your host, Lyle Perez, and today we are continuing our Haunted America tour with a look at 10 different haunted locations in the state of Alaska. Let's see what the last frontier has to offer. Our first stop is the Red Onion Saloon in Skagway. This historic bar and brothel, dating back to 1898 during the height of the Klondike Gold Rush, has a lively atmosphere, but some of its patrons are from a different time. The Red Onion was one of Skagway's most infamous establishments, offering not only drinks, but also the services of his upstairs brothel. The madams and working girls here catered to miners hoping to strike it rich. Lydia, one of the former madams, is said to still linger in the saloon. Her apparition has been seen on numerous occasions, particularly on the second floor where the brothel rooms were located. But Lydia isn't just a fleeing shadow. She makes her presence known in more tangible ways. Staff and visitors alike have reported feeling cold spots, hearing disembodied footsteps, and even catching the scent of her perfume wafting through the air. Some say she still watches over her domain, perhaps waiting for her next customer. Next, we're going to head on over to the Alaskan Hotel in Juneau. The oldest operating hotel in Alaska, which was built in 1913 by a group of miners who struck gold in the nearby mountains. The hotel quickly became a hub for the influx of gold rush fortune seekers, offering a place of comfort for at least a roof over their heads. However, not all who entered the Alaskan Hotel left it alive. The most famous spirit here is Alice, a young bride who, as legend has it, took her own life after her husband failed to return from the gold fields. Consumed by grief, Alice is said to have hung herself in her room, and now her spirit lingers within the walls of the hotel. Guests often report waking up in the middle of the night to find a woman in a long dress standing at the foot of their bed, only for her to disappear moments later. Some hear her weeping softly, and others feel an overwhelming sense of sadness that seems to seep from the walls. It's as if Alice is eternally mourning her lost love. Next, we're moving to the Gilder Hotel in Seward. This hotel has been a landmark since the 1920s. Originally built as an office building, it was later converted into a hotel in the 1930s. The hotel has seen its share of history, from the prosperity of the Roaring Twenties to the hardships of the Great Depression. But one of the most haunting stories from the Gilder Hotel, Fannie Guthrie-Baehm, a woman who lived in the building during its early days. Fannie was a beloved member of the community, known for her generosity and kindness. However, her life was tragically cut short when she died in a fire that swept through the building. Her death was ruled accidental, but many believe there was foul play involved. Fannie's ghost is said to haunt the hotel to this day, with guests reporting sightings of a woman in old-fashioned clothing wandering the halls. Some have even woken up in the middle of the night to find her standing by their bed, her presence accompanied by an intense feeling of sorrow. The eerie atmosphere in the Van Gilder Hotel is only heightened by the creaking of the old building, making it a truly spine-chilling experience. Let's move on to our number 4, Alaska State Capitol in Juneau. The Alaska State Capitol in Juneau might be a place of political power, but it's also a hotspot for paranormal activity. Completed in 1931, this building has seen numerous significant events, including the transition of Alaska from a U.S. territory to a state in 1959. However, not all of its history is as well documented. One of the most persistent legends involves a former legislator who is said to have taken his own life within the Capitol building. While the identity of the spirit remains a mystery, many believe it could be linked to a tragic event in the early 20th century. Staff members have reported hearing disembodied voices, footsteps, echoes through empty hallways, and the eerie sensation of being watched. Some say the legislator's ghost lingers, perhaps driven by unfinished business or a deep connection to the state he once served. The most unnerving encounters happen late at night, when the building is empty, except for the spirits that linger in the halls. Number 5. The Anchorage Historic Hotel in Anchorage. The Anchorage Historic Hotel, built in 1916, is one of the city's oldest establishments and has a reputation for being haunted. The hotel has played host to numerous historical figures and events, but it's the stories of its ghostly inhabitants that keep visitors on edge. The most famous spirit here is that of a police officer who was murdered on the property in the 1920s. The circumstances surrounding his death remain unclear, but many believe he was killed in the line of duty. Guests have reported seeing shadowy figures, feeling sudden drops in temperatures, and hearing strange noises coming from the rooms. The Anchorage Historic Hotel is open for business, and you can book a stay in one of its rooms. Be sure to ask the staff about the haunted history. They're more than happy to share their ghost stories. Our next destination in the Haunted America series is the abandoned Igloo City Hotel in Cantwell. Constructed in the 1970s, this bizarre igloo-shaped building was meant to be a tourist attraction and hotel, capitalizing on Alaska's reputation for quirky, larger-than-life structures. However, due to a combination of financial troubles and issues with building codes, the hotel never officially opened. Despite, or perhaps because of, its unfinished state, the Igloo City Hotel has become a magnet for ghost hunters and thrill seekers. The structure's eerie interior, with its hollow rooms and decaying walls, sets the perfect stage for paranormal activity. Visitors have reported hearing whispers, seeing figures darting in the shadows, and feeling an overwhelming sense of unease. Unfortunately, the Igloo City Hotel is not open for the public for tours or for staying, as it remains at the state of disrepair. However, you can view the building from the outside, and many visitors find that the sight alone is enough to send shivers down their spines. Number 7, we have the historic White House Bed and Breakfast in Skagway. Back in Skagway, the historic White House Bed and Breakfast is known not just for its charming hospitality, but also for its ghostly guests. Built in 1902, this B&B was originally a private residence before being converted into a boarding house and eventually a bed and breakfast. Over the years, the house has been home to a variety of residents, some of whom may still linger. The most commonly reported apparition is that of a woman in an old-fashioned clothing who has been seen wandering the halls. Guests have also heard unexplained footsteps, voices, and doors opening and closing on their own. The current owners have embraced the house's haunted reputation, even offering a ghost room for those hoping to have an encounter. The historic White House Bed and Breakfast is open to guests, and you can book a stay in this charming and possibly haunted house at your own risk. Number 8, we have the Jesse Lee Home for Children in Seward. The Jesse Lee Home for Children in Seward has a tragic history that still haunts the town to this day. Originally established in 1926, the home was a refuge for orphan children, many of whom were Native Alaskan. However, its story took a dark turn during the 1964 Good Friday earthquake, one of the most powerful earthquakes ever recorded. The quake devastated much of Seward, including the Jesse Lee home, where several children lost their lives. It's sad that the spirits of these children still linger in the ruins of the old buildings. Paranormal investigators have visited the site and have recorded EVPs of children's voices, captured orbs, and seen shadowy figures moving among the debris. Many who visit the site report feeling an overwhelming sense of sadness. And how couldn't they? Unfortunately, the Jesse Lee home is abandoned and not open to the public, as the buildings are in a state of disrepair and pose safety hazards. However, some brave souls still venture near the site, drawn by the tragic history and tales of lingering spirits. Now let's move on to number 9, the Baggage Towers in Whittier. In Whittier, nearly the entire town lives under one roof at the Baggage Towers, a 14-story building constructed in the 1950s as a military facility during the Cold War. Originally built to house military personnel, the building now serves as the primary residence for most of Whittier's population, making it one of the most unique towns in Alaska. But Baggage Towers is not just a curious piece of Cold War history, it's also said to be haunted. Residents have reported seeing apparitions, hearing strange noises, and feeling an overwhelming sense of dread in certain parts of the building. The isolation of Whittier, combined with the building's eerie history, makes these tales all the more unsettling. Since Baggage Towers is a residential building, it's not open to the public for tours. But if you find yourself in Whittier, the locals are often willing to share the building's haunted history. Now it's time for our final stop, the Night Mute High School. Night Mute is a small village with a chilling tale to tell. The Night Mute High School, like many schools in remote Alaskan villages, serve as a central hub for the community. However, this particular school is said to be haunted by the spirit of a young girl who died on the property under mysterious circumstances. The girl's identity remains unknown, but her presence is strongly felt. Teachers and students have reported hearing her singing in the halls, seeing lights flicker on and off, feeling her presence in the classrooms. The story goes that she was a student who tragically passed away, and now she lingers, her voice echoing through the halls long after school has ended. Night Mute High School is not generally open to the public, but it's an active school facility. However, during community events, visitors may have a chance to explore the building and possibly catch a glimpse of that little girl who haunts the halls. And that's going to do it for this episode of the Halloween podcast. Hope you guys are enjoying our Haunted America series as we took a look at The Last Frontier. Yep, we took a look at Alaska. They had some pretty good ghost stories in there, some pretty good haunted locations, which I had a lot of fun researching and sharing with all of you. If you've enjoyed listening to the Halloween podcast, please consider hitting that subscribe button and leaving us a 5-star review wherever you listen to podcasts. And as always, if you have any questions, comments, or want to suggest anything for a future show, go ahead and send me an email to thehalloweenpodcast@gmail.com. Don't forget to check out our website, thehalloweenpodcast.com, where you can find all sorts of cool Halloween merch. All proceeds help the Halloween podcast so I can continue doing shows like this one. So please go to the website, thehalloweenpodcast.com. Look at all the merch that's there, buy something, and you'll help out the show. And don't forget to like our Facebook page at facebook.com/The Halloween Podcast. I've been posting a lot of cool stuff there lately, so make sure you go and check out all of that cool content. And we're still early on in our Haunted America series, so make sure you stop back tomorrow as we take a look at the great state of Arizona. See you then.